People claims that they are paying taxes to government on all the goods and services utilized by them and starts asking question, why should we pay taxes again on income earned? This is most commonly heard question for many people. Yes, not only this, there are many questions but no satisfactory answers. Like, why should we pay taxes to government? Of course, government collect taxes, but why do they collect with multiple names? It means why different types of taxes are levied on people. Why government do shows bias in collecting taxes? I mean, why different slabs are seen on different income levels? What happens if we don't pay taxes? Likewise, there are many questions. Friends, I hope you understood today's topic. It's taxation. Hi friends, myself Shiva from Allfins. We are the authorized sales partner to the largest stockbroker in our country, Zerodha. Also, ICICI Prudential Life Insurance and Star Health Insurance. Our aim is to raise your financial awareness through the videos we make on behalf of Allfins channel. Please subscribe to Allfins YouTube channel and follow the Facebook page to achieve financial freedom. While let's begin with the topic. First, the main important doubt, that is, why should we pay taxes to government? It is very expensive and difficult to run the entire country, especially high populated country like India. To deal with all the activities that ranges from civil operations to welfare schemes, government needs huge money. So it's impossible for the government to run the nation without collecting taxes. In our India, taxes are collected by central and state governments. To some extent, the municipal taxes are collected by local bodies. Such collected taxes are again used for all-round development of people in the nation, like to build hospitals for treatment of public, to build schools, colleges and universities for children education, to lay down roads for transportation of people via buses and trains, to provide salaries to the all employees who work in those above sectors, also for welfare schemes to the people. Collection of taxes from people is seen from ancient times. However, there are some good sayings on the way of collection of taxes and utilization of those taxes collected from the people. They are, first, these are the words said by the great Bhishma Pitamaha to Yudhishthira Maharaj, who is called as Dharmaraja in Mahabharata. The wise king should collect taxes from the people in regular intervals and without keeping burden on them, just like milking on daily basis without harming the cow and collecting the nectar by flies without harming the plants. Second, these are the words taken from Raghuvansham book written by poet Kalidas. The collection of taxes from the people should be in the way that sun collects the water from the earth in the form of vapor, and the same to be written for goodness of people in form of rain in thousand folds. Okay, keeping aside the utilization of taxes in proper manner, let us discuss why government collects taxes with multiple names. It is very commonly seen that people get confused in multiple types of taxes. In our India, taxes are divided into two types. First, direct tax. Second, indirect tax. Now, direct tax. Here, taxes are levied on individual income. These type of taxes are not transferable. It means our tax liability is not transferred to others and others' tax liability is not transferred to us. In India, direct tax system is followed in different forms since many years. In order to recover the losses happened during Sepoy Mutiny, that is Indian Rebellion of 1857, Sir James Wilson, the former British government officer, introduced special type of taxes in India. Since then, after many changes, a separate Income Tax Act 1961 was introduced by our Indian government on 1st April 1962. What is income tax? A small amount of money are paid in the form of taxes by an individual or corporate body out of the total income they earn for a particular financial year. Then, is it mandatory to pay taxes on each single penny we earn? The answer is no. This is because our Income Tax Act gives a facility to pay zero tax or nil tax to an individual or corporate to some limits of our annual income. However, if the prescribed limits are exceeded, we should pay taxes. As I said before, for easy and convenient sake in paying taxes, our Indian government has divided it into two categories. First, individual, second, non-individual. Individual is again divided into residential and non-residential. According to Indian Income Tax Act, residential status doesn't depend on the birth taken in India. And of course, it depends on the number of days stayed in India, whether he is Indian citizen or foreign citizen. As in the same way, the non-individual is again divided into 6 categories. First, HUF, Hindu Undivided Family. Here all the family members are lived under one roof. Head of the family member is called as Karta. AOP, Association of Persons, and BOI, Body of Individuals. It means in order to earn money, a group of people come together to form an association. Third, local authorities. Individual bodies takes responsibility for the welfare of people like Gram Panchayats and municipal committees. Fourth, corporate firms. The legal entities formed to run the business. Example, partnership firms and LLP, limited liability partnerships. Fifth, these are also legal entities formed to run business. Additional to that, there is an option to invest more capital, also have an opportunity for participation of more number of people. Example, private limited companies and limited companies. Sixth, artificial judicial persons. These are non-human legal entities formed under Special Act of Income Tax. Universities are best examples for this type of category. Now we will see second type, that is indirect tax. Just for an instance, to finish with type of taxes, we will touch and leave indirect tax. But some more information about indirect tax will be provided in last part of this video. So don't miss that, friends. Okay, indirect taxes are the taxes which are collected on customers on the goods and services offered by the suppliers. Before 2017, indirect taxes are of many types, but later all these types come under one category, that is GST, goods and service tax. Why different slabs are seen on different income levels and goods? In direct tax system, Income Tax Act divided taxpayers into different groupings as per their income levels and levy taxes at different rates. These groupings are called as income tax slabs. This grouping is done mainly to safeguard less income earners and to avoid paying heavy taxes. Our Finance Minister, Madam Nirmala Sitharaman, has introduced a new tax regime in the year 2020. Here, taxpayers have to choose type of regime, whether it is old or new, based on the convenience in paying and saving taxes. That is, under old tax regime, the basic exemption limit is only up to 2.5 lakhs, but deductions under some exemptions are allowed. That is, under old tax regime, the basic exemption limit is only up to 2.5 lakhs, but deductions under some sections are allowed to claim. Whereas in new tax regime, the basic exemption limit is up to 3 lakhs, taken rebate into consideration, and deductions are not allowed to claim. So, based on these criteria, taxpayers can choose type of regime. For example, let us take two persons, person A and person B. Both are with same salary package, that is 3 lakh per annum. Person A is showing 1 lakh under tax allowed deduction sections, whereas person B not showed even a single rupee under deduction sections. But both are liable to pay zero tax or nil tax. This is because person A has chosen old tax regime and person B has chosen new tax regime. So after choosing different regimes, person A is under basic exemption limit of 2.5 lakhs after showing deductions, and person B is under basic exemption limit of 3 lakhs, so they need not to pay even a 1 rupee tax. Tax slabs based on old tax regime. Here, individuals have to pay taxes based on age criteria, that is below 60 years, 60 to 80 years and above 80 years. For convenience sake, individual, residential and non-residential, HUF, AOP and BOI and artificial judicial persons, all these are taken under one category. So you can see on screen the different slab rates are shown with the different age groups and with different income levels. And in addition to this, all age groups are liable to pay surcharge and health and education cess. Tax slabs based on new tax regime. Here also individual, residential and non-residential HUF are taken into one category, but age criteria is not taken into consideration. I mean, all age groups comes under only one tax category. You can see on screen the different slab rates are shown with the different income levels. A small note, friends, I said up to 3 lakhs zero tax is possible. This is because under section 87A, we can claim for 50,000 rupees as tax rebate if annual income is below 5 lakhs. Now coming to tax slabs for corporate firms, companies and local authorities. For corporate firms like partnership firms, LLPs and local authorities, direct 30% tax rate is applicable. Whereas for companies, domestic companies 30% and foreign companies 50% tax rates are applicable. In addition to this, all are liable to pay surcharge, health and educational cess. Our government also used to levy wealth tax in addition to income tax before 2016. Our ex-finance minister, Sir Arun Jaitley, abolished wealth tax on 20th February 2016 in budget sessions. But to compensate with this, government decided to collect extra 2% surcharge on people who earn more than 1 crore rupees per annum. Now coming to indirect tax system. GST Council divided each goods and services into different slab rates based on utilization by people in daily life. That is, if the goods and services are very essential and very needy in the daily life, then they are charged with less tax slab. As well as if the goods and services are under luxury category, then they are charged with higher tax slab. Till now, we have seen the tax slabs for direct and indirect tax systems. Now, let us see the importance and also benefits of filing ITR. First, loan and card processing will become very easy. Applying for passport and travel to foreign countries becomes easy. In order to carry forward losses occurred in previous financial year and to get refunds, ITRs filing is must. ITRs are taken as income proof when we apply for high insurance coverage, like in case of term insurance. Now, the most important question, that is, what happens if we don't pay taxes? As I said before, whether it is old tax regime or new tax regime, all persons are free to pay zero tax. But if in case basic exemption limits are exceeded, it is better to pay tax. And if tax is not paid, there may be possibility for scrutiny by tax department and we may send with notice for not paying taxes. Also, possibility for putting in jail. My better suggestion is please pay tax every year. I hope you have seen the importance of filing ITR. So better my suggestion, pay tax. As per my words, I am here to discuss some more points on indirect tax. Indirect taxes are imposed by central government on taxpayers for goods and services rendered. Before 2007, indirect taxes are categorized into many types. They are sales tax, VAT, service tax, customs duty and excise duty. But our ex-finance minister, Sir Arun Jaitley, introduced GST, Goods and Service Tax, government order in Parliament on 1st July 2017 by replacing all types of indirect taxes. It is said to be the biggest reform in the entire Prime Minister period of Narendra Modi ji. After introducing GST as one nation, one tax, all the taxes become very easy. This is because with the different types of indirect taxes, it was very difficult to pay taxes. Now, with implementation of GST based on services and products, a simple tax slabs were introduced. With this, it has become very easy to pay taxes for all types of goods and services under one roof. Also, this helps people in paying double taxation. Now, with implementation of GST based on services and products, a simple tax slabs were introduced. With this, it has become very simple to pay taxes for all types of goods and services under one roof. Also, this helped people to avoid double taxation. As of now, in our India, over 1300 types of goods and over 500 types of services are applicable for GST. And considering above goods and services ranging from needy to luxury, GST slabs are of 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. The taxes thus collected from people are in the form of IGST, Integrated GST, CGST, Central GST and SGST, State GST. Now we will see the goods which are exempted under GST. Fish, meat, eggs, honey, milk and milk products, non-eatable animal products, live trees and plants, vegetables, fruits and dry fruits, unbranded atta, maida and basin, unpacked food grades, books, brochures and newspapers, health and education. The one which are very needy to people are exempted from paying taxes under GST. We can discuss in detail about each. Due to lack of time, I concised and explained them in brief. But taking it as my responsibility, I will explain in detail about each in future coming videos. Friends, don't be hurry in last months of financial year to save taxes. Plan insurance and mutual fund ELSS investments according to starting of financial year and enjoy the returns along with tax savings. Friends, lastly, one small word. Keeping aside the utilization of collected taxes by government in proper manner, we as our responsibility file the taxes for sure before due date and raise your hand in building our nation. People who are interested in investments, please find the link in the description box to open account instantly. From one platform, you can invest in stocks and mutual funds. Friends, I hope you are clear with the topic. If so, please like and share the video. Also, subscribe to Alfin's YouTube channel and follow the Facebook page. Moreover, if you have any doubts about the financial products, please don't hesitate to post your query in the comment box. And also, click on the bell symbol next to each video to receive future uploaded video notifications. Thank you.